Take a breath and pray with me now. As we come into Taizé, celebrating all of life, celebrating this warm, comfortable, this air-conditioned, comfortable place on this beautiful, normal Reading morning where we will thrive. I give thanks. I give thanks for all of it, for everyone who's here with us in the room and on whatever platform. I give thanks for each and every one of you. Beautiful, creative, loving souls, magnificently made in the image and likeness of God. Purposefully made. We are that one power, that one intelligence, that one substance, that one creative process out of which all things come forth into the world. I give thanks. I know that each one here is worthy and respected and loved, and it starts with our own self. So we prepare our mind, our heart, with an opening, receptive attitude to listen to Reverend Diana's inspiring words on freedom, our inherent spiritual gift, our right. And I know that each one here today will find something. The soul will whisper to you that little something that will resonate and inspire you on to your next yet to be, in service to one another, giving love and support to each other and to yourself. I close this prayer with deep thanksgiving, with confident gratitude that all prayer placed into the creative process of love and law is answered. And I rest knowing, with joyful expectation, knowing it is unfolding right now. So I release this prayer, and together we say, and so it is. Amen.
Good morning. Welcome. So happy to have you out on this warm morning, but in our cool and air-conditioned space with its clean filtered air. So if you're new with us here in the room or online today, my name's Reverend Diana Johnson. I'm the pastor and spiritual director for Mystic Heart Spiritual Center. We are an independent interfaith community, and we teach universal principles and practical spirituality. So I trust that you'll hear something this morning that leads you to the guidance and wisdom of your own mystic heart. So right now I invite you to settle in, take a deep breath, relax. Feel and know the wholeness and completeness of this moment as you allow yourself to be carried by the meditative tone of Taizé. And joining voices, we let the music take us deeper.
Welcome home to your mystic heart. Lay aside whatever came before. Let your own intuition start.
heaven that is here and now, both within and without. And we are the ones.
Separate us, we are one. Oh, lover of my soul and keeper of my spirit, nothing can separate us, we are one. We are one. We are one. Nothing can separate us. We are one. All nations on the earth, all life upon the planet, nothing can separate us. We are one. All nations on the earth, all life upon the planet, nothing can separate us. We are one. We are one. We are one. Nothing can separate us. We are one. We are one. We are one. Nothing can separate us. We are one. Nothing can separate us. We are one. Nothing can separate us. We are The mystics of every age have known that we are one. With the Creator, by whatever name we call it. With one another. With all of creation. So we take a moment right now to experience our oneness with all of life. To honor our connection with our global family. So envision with me now a web of consciousness that surrounds and infuses the planet. Each one of us a radiant spark shining within that web. Every human, without exception. Every creature, every plant, shining with the one light from the one source. The rocks and minerals, the water and wind, the stars and the planets, enlivened by the light of spirit. As we acknowledge our connection with all that is, we are empowered. There is strength in connection. There is freedom in knowing that we are not alone. As we come together in prayer and meditation, we leave a positive imprint on human evolution and on the world for all time. In this moment, we set an intention that this imprint be one of love, peace, joy, beauty, and contentment. The flow of Taizé this morning invites us to consider falling into freedom. But what is true freedom? We might believe that it is the ability to consciously choose our responses rather than being triggered and reacting in any situation. We may define freedom as having the support behind us to openly share our gifts in the world, to give our time and attention to whatever brings us joy. Or maybe it is so much more. What if freedom is actually a quality of spirit, given to each of us at birth, or even prior to being born into this lifetime? Like peace and power, love, joy, and beauty, freedom is part of our nature. We do not have to attain it. It is our divine birthright, always available in any moment that we believe it, acknowledge it, accept and receive it, and give it direction in our lives. Spiritual teacher Gangaji says, right now, in this moment, who you are is eternal freedom. Everything that you imagine yourself to be arises in that freedom, exists in that freedom, and disappears back into that freedom. Freedom doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't suddenly appear when you are born, and it doesn't disappear when you die. Freedom is the truth of life. Freedom is who you are, not who you have named yourself. Your name appears and disappears. Not who you have imagined yourself to be. That changes with time. Not who you feel yourself to be. That feeling comes and goes. Freedom is always here. There is no end to it. Freedom is the essential nature of consciousness, and consciousness is the source of individual awareness. Letting that wisdom settle for a moment. Freedom is directly linked to belonging. Although we are not often presented with this relationship as a point of contemplation. At the core of belonging, there are three qualities: trust, faith, and love. Trust is the core of faith. That which we have learned to trust determines where we place our faith. If at a young age we learned that we could trust our parents to care for and love us, we might later place our faith in people as being basically good, trustworthy, well-intentioned, and loving. And we might place our faith in ourselves as lovable and deserving of all that is good. What we have learned is to trust, to have faith in the good, to trust and have faith in God, Spirit. And what if this was not our experience? We may have learned that we could trust our parents to be unpredictable, angry, neglectful, self-absorbed, unloving. We might place our faith in people as inherently bad, untrustworthy, ill-intentioned, and selfish. In this case, we may not have faith in ourselves as loving, competent, and deserving beings. And the most challenging part is that we may not even realize that this is our situation. But the truth teachings of all ages, in all traditions, say, "As a man thinketh in his heart, so shall it be done unto him." And where we place our faith is at the core of our belief system. We have inadvertently placed ourselves smack in the middle of a mistrust in ourselves, a mistrust of our fellow man, and therefore a basic mistrust in the power of good, or God itself. Each of us has all the faith we will ever have, all the faith we will ever need, right here and right now. The question is, what do we have faith in? Where do we place our faith? In the inherent goodness of mankind? In our own goodness? In our own competence and deservingness? Or do we place it in something else? When we say that faith, trust, and love are at the heart of belonging, what concept of love are we referring to? In our culture, the modern day, when we use the word love, there are both preference and desire present in our minds. When I love something or someone, I prefer that one. I desire that one. We might consider instead a definition from Brother David Steindl-Rast's book, Gratefulness, the Heart of Prayer. He says, long before we begin to reflect on love, long before we even learn to speak, we do love. We love our parents, our playmates, our pets, our toys. Passionate attraction hardly characterizes any of these relationships. Nor does anyone take much notice of that love. It is like the air we breathe. Love is an atmosphere, a way of being in relationship with the world. And what is this way of being that underlies every form of love that we experience? It is the experience of belonging. In every form that love takes, there is a yes to belonging. We sometimes shy away from belonging because in our culture we think of a possessive form of belonging. Belonging to. But this is not what true belonging is. True belonging is always mutual. There's a relationship present. Rather than something or someone belonging to me, there is the idea of them belonging with me. In belonging with, the meaning or focus changes. Suddenly, the idea of belonging is not a one-sided proprietorship, but instead a willing interdependence. This is true of both people and things. I depend on my car to get me where I'm going, and it depends on me to make sure it has oil, gas, and water. I depend on my house to keep me warm or cool, safe and dry. It depends on me to keep up the cleaning and repairs. If you love your house or your car, you are sensitive to her needs. There is an intuitive understanding that you belong together. The level of intimacy in our belongingness deepens as we extend our love to living things, to plants, animals, to other human beings. But at whatever level of intimacy, I have to admit that I belong to and belong with everything that belongs to and with me. It is mutual. Belonging implies a give and take. And a sense of belonging brings meaning to my life. I am a spiritual being having a human experience, and a large and important part of that experience is belonging. So how does a sense of belonging lead us to freedom? When we know where we belong, with whom we belong, that we belong, we are free to simply be, to give of who we are, to give the gifts that we have to give, as part of an interdependent cycle of love, as part of the divine dance. We are now free from seeking, free from having to perform, having to attain, free to simply be.
We have heard that the ultimate goal of the spiritual journey is liberation. But what does that mean? Liberation literally means setting or becoming free. But free from what? Liberation implies that we are experiencing restraint or confinement. What is it that restrains our freedom? What is it that limits our possibilities? The longer we study and contemplate spiritual truth, the more we come to believe that there are no inherent restraints in life, that the creative power of Spirit moving through us can do all things. The Rabbi Yeshua of Nazareth taught, "It is done unto you as you believe." Any limitations we experience then must come from our own deep-seated beliefs. Our life unfolds according to our beliefs about ourselves. Am I deserving of love or not? Am I strong and healthy or weak and sickly? Am I worthy of success, or will I probably always have to struggle just to get by? Can I experience true liberation in this lifetime? Or Will there always be something holding me back? In the Gospel of John, Yeshua quotes Psalm 82 saying, "Is it not written in your law that ye are gods?" Divine creative power flows through each of us, but it is filtered through our beliefs, colored by our faith. Through sustained spiritual practice, we can grow our faith. We can transform negative beliefs. We can overcome our limitations. In these 3 minutes of shared silent communion and contemplation, I invite us to consider one limiting belief that we may be entertaining. Maybe it's a feeling of unworthiness. Maybe the fear of responsibility that comes with success. Perhaps we feel threatened by certain people or situations. Whatever it is for you, simply hold it in your mind and ask, what if this is not true? What if I drew a false conclusion based on erroneous assumptions? What if I'm already free? Divine Spirit, thank you for creating us as free individuals, free to be the unlimited expression of your love that we truly are. Thank you for these blessed souls who worship with me in beloved community. I'm so grateful to know that I am where I belong and with whom I belong, and that we all are free. Prayer and meditation are tools for transforming limiting beliefs and reclaiming our spiritual authority. They allow us to recognize our habitual thought patterns and identify and clean out our subconscious filters. And as we do that, we allow more good into our life and into the lives of those around us. With our hearts and minds open and receptive to Reverend Diana's continued inspiration this morning, we allow ourselves to be transformed, renewed, liberated, with deep gratitude for this mutual support, as together we discover what true freedom really is.
Freedom is the natural state of all beings everywhere. Infinite intelligence expressing and experiencing its agency as all of creation. Constant and yet ever-changing. It is that freedom, that spiritual authority, that infuses the process of creation unfolding. It is that freedom that is expressing and experiencing itself as you and as me. We recognize and honor the freedom granted to all beings as divine birthright. Our nation's Declaration of Independence says, "We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all people are created equal. That they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights. That among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness." As we come to know and embody these powerful words, life on earth is forever changed. We leave our lasting imprint. We make a difference. How do we move in the direction of revealing the freedom that is our birthright? Spiritual practice. Isn't it funny that there are so many questions and only one answer? Spiritual practice. We actively and consciously practice building our trust, our faith in spirit, so that we may consciously and willingly place our faith in one another, seeing the spark of the divine in each one. We are no longer engaging in acts of codependence, but from the place of interdependence, we belong together. Deeply grounded in our faith in God, our faith in ourselves as expressions of that one life, in our faith in one another, and therefore in our sense of belongingness, in all of that, we are free, completely and utterly free to be who and what we are. And so let's close in prayer. There is only one thing going on here, and that one thing is Spirit expressing by means of their creation. Each and every one of us is and can only be an emanation of that life, with all of the inherent qualities of spirit present and available as factory equipment. This is spiritual truth, and nothing we can do will ever change it. What I can do is learn to work with it constructively for my own benefit, growth, and development, and that of my loved ones, for the benefit of my local community and my world. I can and do recognize my interdependence with all of life. I acknowledge my inherent freedom given me at birth. And I use this freedom to carefully choose my thoughts, words, and actions, my responses to whatever is appearing in my life. What a gift to be given such freedom, to contribute to my own life story and the story of human history from here forward. I choose to wake up from the dream of separation and live my life as the irreplaceable strand that I am, offering my unique gifts in full faith that they are necessary, that they are received and appreciated. In this moment of awareness and deep communion, I simply say thank you, Spirit, for every little thing, for every blessing poured into my life, and for the understanding that everything is blessing, no matter the appearance. And so I can let go and trust right here and now that all is well. And so it is. Amen. Invite you into musical meditation.
Blessed river, polishing stones, she is polishing our hearts. We are claiming our thrones to sit side by side in our awakened homes. Love is always watching. Love is always watching. And we're gonna sing, sing, sing our prayers for freedom. Sing, sing, sing our prayers for freedom. So we're gonna sing, sing, sing our prayers for freedom. Sing our prayers for freedom for all humankind. Medicine giver, gentle spirit of now. She is polishing our hearts in ways we do not understand. We walk side by side and offer both our hands. Love is always watching. Love is always watching. And we're gonna sing, sing, sing our prayers for freedom. Sing, sing, sing our prayers for freedom. So we're gonna sing, sing, sing our prayers for freedom. Sing our prayers for freedom for the land. Sing our prayers for freedom for the land. Brothers, sisters, brave pilgrims of the night, we have followed our hearts, and in truth we have arrived. To sit side by side in humanity's light. Love is always watching. Love is always watching. And we're gonna sing, sing, sing our prayers for freedom. Sing, sing, sing our prayers for freedom. So we're gonna sing, sing, sing our
Turning our awareness to this moment, to this place. We acknowledge that musical meditation doesn't always have to be slow and quiet. Sometimes we can move and sing.
Party in your head.
Party in your head and your heart. Or stand up and do it in the room. So we open our eyes and our hearts and our minds even further and look around at who's sharing our celebration this morning. Somebody snuck in during the song. Good morning, Barbara.
Good morning, Barbara. And Bob.
And Bob. Oh, and Bob. That's right.
Snuck in too.
Yes. So as we close Taizé today, we offer the opportunity for you to share of your good, your financial good, in support of the work that we do. We're an independent, self-sustaining organization, and we depend on your generous gifts of support. If you have found value in your time here together this morning, share the love. And if you're joining us online, same applies. You can find a donate button at mysticheart.org. I know, what's our website? mysticheart.org. We have a mailing address as well if you prefer to use those little paper things that flow through the mail system. And while we offer this time for circulation this morning, I share with you a video by Eddie Watkins Jr., once a great Motown bassist and vocalist. Now we are blessed to have him as a great spiritual musician. Eddie Watkins. Definitely a song about freedom.
Every morning, the light keeps getting brighter as I wake up to the truth. And every day, I'm feeling so much lighter, and the world seems fresh and new. What I was taught and the way that I thought stopped serving me long ago. Now I'm learning to trust in the God of all of us. Each day I start anew, and so I'm walking away from the thinking that held me for so long. Today is the day I walk away. I'm walking away from the path that led me to confusion. Today is the day I walk away. I'm walking away from the thinking that held me for so long. Today is the day I walk away. I'm walking away from the path that led me to such sadness. Today is the day I walk away. Every day I walk away. Every morning brings a new beginning. By grace another day to be. I awaken to the sun upon me shining, lighting the way for me to see. Oh, things that I sought and the way that I thought stopped serving me long ago. Now I'm learning to trust in the God of all of us. Of yesterday I'm letting go. I'm walking away from the thinking that held me for so long. Today is the day I walk away. I'm walking away from the past that led me to confusion. Today is the day I walk away. Oh, I'm walking away from the less than that held me for so long. Today is the day I walk away. I'm walking away from the path that led me to such sadness. Today is the day I walk away. Every day I walk away. Today is the day I walk away.
He wrote that song as he was walking away from his rock and roll life and walking into recovery.
Oh, my.
Yeah. So we say thank you for these many, many gifts that are offered. I know that they flow freely and generously through your hands and hearts into this community so that we might grow and expand and offer even more of our love and service to our greater community. So I say thank you to each one for each gift, and so it is. Amen. So this next week, we're preparing big time for an indoor parking lot sale, whatever that means. We're going to do it inside because of the heat, of course. We will probably have some overflow in the shade outside. So I invite you, there's a schedule that's gone out, email, I'll send it again this week, times that we're here to receive items. And we also can use help with people helping to receive items and price items all through the week. We'll be starting today moving the chairs out of the sanctuary after the service, and we'll start setting this room up right away, and then through the week after classes we'll spread it further and further down the building. So anything that you can do to contribute or help is greatly appreciated. These plants are plants, this lady and her plants.
Tomatillos.
I know, we have tomatillos and we have some mystery tomatoes. I think most of them are sun golds, but there might be something else. Because they popped up and I just transplanted them and saved their lives, and now here they are. So if you'd like to, usually I just give them away, but these are going to be in the sale. So if you'd like a plant, just make some kind of a donation, it'd be fine. And otherwise, they'll go out in our sale this next week. And I think that's all I need to say for right now. I ran us a little later than normal, but that's okay. May your soul always find what it's looking for. May your heart always lead the way. May you live in peace and harmony. And may love always fill your day. May your path be strewn with happiness. May success find you everywhere. May you always embrace compassion and grace. And may God always answer your prayer. May you always embrace compassion and grace. And may God always answer your prayer. Have a blessed Sunday. Maybe you want some coffee. Come back and join us for a conversation if you'd like.
All right. Bye-bye, Terry. We come together, and some are coming and some are going. We come together knowing we are magnificently made expressions of that one power, that one intelligence, that one substance, and that one creative process out of which all things come into being through us, for us, and by us, and with us. We belong to one another, and we share with one another. So I offer my gratitude for this space and for everybody that's here to share their wonderful wisdom so that we all grow in our love and our faith and in our confidence in our own selves. So I know that each one here today is going to receive exactly what they need to move into their next yet to be so they can leave behind that which they don't need anymore and grow in love and faith. And together we say, and so it is. Amen.
Well, good morning. Oh, here we are, yes. If you feel so inclined and want to come a little closer, we could be a little more intimate group. But if not, that's fine. If you're new to us online this morning, my name's Reverend Diana Johnson, pastor and spiritual director of Mystic Heart Spiritual Center. And we're an independent interfaith community. We teach universal principles and practical spirituality. And we open our doors and welcome. So thank you for being here this morning on this beautiful summer morning. We're going to open up with some upbeat, prayerful music. Feel free to move about as you wish if you want. Welcome to the Mystic Heart. Join the celebration. Lift your voice to sing your part. Make this affirmation. Spirit made us family with loving hearts to share. Together we are joyfully practicing the possible through prayer. And everything's possible through prayer. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody beat. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody beat. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one. One big family. Hey, 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 hey. Hey, hey, hey. Yeah, yeah. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Say hey, 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 hey. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody beat. Hey, 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 hey. Hey, hey, hey. Yeah, yeah. All right, we are one people living on one planet, joining in one family. We're all one. One people living on one planet, joining in one family. We are all one. That's it. One people living on one planet, joining in one family. We are all one. One people living on one planet, joining in one family. We are all one. One people living on one planet, joining in one family. We are all one. One more time. One people living on one planet, joining in one family. We are all one. We are all one. We are all one. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Let's keep that energy going and growing. joined together this morning in our vision of a love-soaked world. We enter our vision finding ourselves, seeing ourselves, and feeling ourselves living in a world where all humans are living from their deepest wisdom, their most generous and loving nature. Each one of us thoughtful about the impact of our thoughts and our words and our actions on one another and on our community and on our world. This is a world without greed, where there is absolute abundance in having enough, where all needs are met gracefully and easily, where nutritious food and clean water and pure sweet air are readily available to all of us, no matter where we live, no matter which family we were born into. Where warm and comfortable and affordable housing is a given. Where all beings feel a sense of safety and belonging and contribution. Where mental and physical health, education, and healthy relationships are all supported by systems grounded in integrity, honesty, and wholeness. Feel and know with me now a world where all beings work and play at whatever feeds the soul and are well compensated for their service. All are valued and respected for their inherent goodness. Authenticity and vulnerability are not only welcomed, but celebrated. The peace we've cultivated within ourselves shows up as a world free of hatred, violence, or indifference. The love that we are here to share is given freely to whomever our hearts are called to love. We've moved beyond all lines of separation, and we live as one human family, caring for our beautiful planet and all that she contains and sustains. By the power of our collective intention right here this morning, by the power of our powerful imagining and our inspired action, transformation is happening now.
Amen.
We're creating a world that works for all beings everywhere. We are not caught up in appearances. Like the prophet of old, we are doing a good work, and we cannot come down. We will not come down. We will not lower our vision. It is through our hands, feet, hearts, and voices that positive change is happening as we align our actions with our vision, living these changes in our own lives with our families, our friends, our neighbors, and the people around the world. This community stands as an open and welcoming place for all who seek support, belonging, and a sense of family. It redefines church as a place of self-discovery, authenticity, kindness, radical inclusion, and love, as we are guided to the truth that lies within every heart. By the creative power of our deep knowing and our clear vision, our inspired action, this prayer is acted upon here and now. A prayer spoken and deeply felt is a prayer answered. In full acceptance and expectation of its graceful unfolding, with the deepest humility and soul-felt gratitude, we release our word to the one who gets it done, and so it is. Amen. It's just so much fun to bring smiles and laughter into prayer, isn't it? Doesn't that empower it so much? So take a look around. Some people snuck in while we were in all that. Good morning, Dave.
Good morning.
Welcome back, Lucinda and Bob. All right. So, our theme this month has been interconnection. Oh, we have a new little candle here. It's not lit, but that's okay. I just got this little fellow
Cute.
for our theme. I thought by the dimensions it gave that it was about
I got a shirt like that once.
But it's still cute, and I'm gonna keep it, and I'm gonna look for a bigger one for a pillar candle. But this is our interconnection here, right? This has been
That
our
is
theme this
awesome.
month. So I'm putting it here in its tiny form. Oh my goodness. And this morning's conversation, or reflections and contemplation, was on what is true freedom. We're looking at the idea of freedom. So what is it? Tell me. I've been waiting all week for you to tell me what true freedom is.
Peace of mind.
Peace of mind,
Love in your heart.
love in your heart.
Peace on earth.
Lucinda?
Being one, in that state where where you know and feel your own connection.
Knowing your oneness, feeling
Yes.
it. Nice.
Authenticity.
Authenticity.
Yeah.
Ability to be yourself. We talked this morning about how knowing that you belong somewhere, with someone, not to someone, but with someone, brings a true sense of just being able to be yourself, to
Integrity.
be authentic. And that's being in integrity, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it's also letting go of the past.
Letting go of the past.
So you release yourself from all the limitations you've placed on yourself and that have been placed upon you
Right.
when you're, as you grew up.
Yeah. So
I never grew up, so.
So you're still working on
Well,
that,
I'm
right?
really working.
You'll never grow up.
Releasing yourself from all the expectations put upon you by others and by yourself and by society and all of that.
A clear mind.
A
Clear your
clear
mind,
mind.
that's freedom.
Clear
Clear
mind.
mind, knowing.
All right. Chris?
I think it also includes a responsibility not to infringe upon the spiritual liberty of other people.
Ah,
So
yes.
my true freedom stops where it interferes with
Right.
your expression of
yeah.
So non-judgmental.
So, yeah, there's certainly non-judgment in there, but it's using my own freedom and choice in a way that does not infringe upon another's.
It's better, that's upgrading the conversation to more
Right.
positive energy
Yeah.
than because if you're saying non-judgment, you're still saying judgment. So
Right.
how would you upgrade that?
You would say maybe using my own freedoms, my
Mhm.
freedom of choice, in ways that at least harm no other, that uplift,
That uplifts
that
others.
uplift if you want
Yeah,
to go
that's
completely,
Yeah, that uplifts others. Got it.
yeah, bring the energy up
and support other people's
and
freedom.
support other
Support other
people
people's
in their
freedom.
freedom,
Yeah.
which means allowing them to be who they are without the
Yeah.
good opinions that we might
Or
hold about that.
judgments.
And
Yeah.
if we're not comfortable being around them, certainly we don't have to be, that's our choice, but without judgment, you know.
Yeah.
Lucinda?
I was gonna say stepping back,
Okay.
and there any circumstance where I feel like I'm interfering with someone else,
Mhm.
it's time to stop and say, okay, well, where am I in this, and do I really need to be standing like that?
Right, yeah,
No, I don't need to get into this argument, I don't need to
Right.
get into this.
yeah.
And I release myself from the guilt when I do it.
Yeah. It's the human ego that needs to step into the argument and be right,
Yeah.
right? So if we can just put that down and step back and say, there is no need for me to engage in this circumstance if I choose not to.
That's true.
But there's also no call for me to judge it and criticize it and have an opinion about it, other than I'm choosing to do something else right now.
Sounds so simple when you put it that way.
Right. I'm just choosing to do something
Oh,
else.
that's what you do, okay.
Right,
Yeah.
that's it. Choose again.
Yeah.
That's all.
That's what I do with my family, is I have two kids who are conservative.
Mhm.
When they start their stuff and want to argue with me, I just say, this is your choice, this is my choice, not to get involved in that.
Right,
Yeah, and we keep peace that way.
right,
Yeah.
yeah.
There's a famous lyric, freedom is just another word for nothing left to lose.
Yes.
I've heard that somewhere.
Yeah.
There's an obvious meaning to it, but then there's a secondary meaning to it, that I see as when you are absolutely at your lowest point and everything else is gone,
Right.
you have this freedom.
Yes.
Because you have a choice now, there's nothing left to lose, nothing to fear-ish, because
Right.
you're there, you're right there.
Yeah,
And so
yeah. Nowhere to go but up.
Yeah, that is a sense of freedom. It might be one that we don't ever want, but
Right.
nonetheless, it is.
Yeah, thank you.
The book of Christopherson.
The Book of Christopherson, yeah. Yeah, for me, it really has to do with all of the things we're talking about, but what really is clear for me is I feel free when I am able to consciously choose my responses rather than being triggered into reaction. That really feels like a free place to be. Oh, there is no trigger. There is no upset. There is no need to be this way or that way right. And I have an ability to choose how I will respond. There's a lot of freedom in that for me.
Yeah, kind of maybe another way to say it is taking responsibility for other people's freedom.
Right.
Right, so allow them the space to be who they are, because
Yes.
if you put that out into the world, that's what's gonna come back to you. So
Right.
if you can choose to do that, which is not my strong suit, but if you choose to do that, it'll come back to you. So you get some reinforcement in ways that you cannot anticipate.
Right, yeah. So it was Viktor Frankl who is quoted as saying, "The one thing you can't take away from me is the way I choose to respond to what you do to me." And you know who Viktor Frankl was. He was in concentration camps.
Oh, okay.
And, yeah, family, friends were being killed all around him. And he was determined that they were not going to take away his mind, his ability to choose his responses to what was happening. The last of one's freedoms, he says, is to choose one's attitude in any given circumstance. And he came out of those camps successfully and wrote about it. Man's Search for Meaning is the name of his book. Really good book. So we know that freedom and the choices it offers us, though, come with consequences, right? Because every choice we make has some kind of a, cause-effect. Consequence not used as a negative, just consequence with sequence, something that follows it. So we make a choice and then something follows. So do you think that sometimes our perception of not being free to choose is actually our unwillingness to experience the consequences of the choice that we make? So someone put that in an example, a visual. Chris?
I want to eat a whole chocolate cake, but I don't want to gain any weight.
I want to eat a whole chocolate cake, but I don't want to gain any weight. Okay,
Only do 40 carbs, you'll be fine.
there you go. Not much chocolate cake.
What's a whole brownie?
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah. So every choice brings with it the next thing that'll happen as a result. And maybe sometimes we don't feel free, but it's only because we don't want the consequence of what we would really like to do right now. Yes?
I think that sometimes just admitting that I'm free to make choices could be pretty scary.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Because then all of a sudden you become responsible.
Nobody else making the choices for
Right.
me, and
Yeah. Yeah. Responsible. Able to respond. Not react.
I have a question for you.
Mhm.
Kind of going back to, sorry if I'm backtracking
No,
a
no,
little bit,
please.
but you said something about, someone says something that perhaps like triggers you, or it's
Right.
like a different point of view from yours,
Uh-huh.
and you find freedom in not being triggered by them, but being
Mhm.
able to like respond maybe more,
Right.
in a way that feels safe for them to be who they are around you.
Yeah.
What's something that got you to be there? Like, how did you grow in that way? Because I find myself like, I want to do
Right.
that.
Yeah.
But I find myself immediately being like,
Yeah.
going into my ego and being really opinionated and maybe
Right.
shooting down what people have to
Yeah.
say.
So it's practicing, first of all. It's
Yeah.
it's years and years of practicing and willingness to notice when it's happening, willingness to stop yourself right then, put it down. You can do that. It's usually just a lack of willingness, not an inability.
Okay.
So noticing, so it's a self-inquiry, noticing, putting it down, making the counter statement that is or may not be true. What might be, taking yourself down another line of thinking. And it's a practice. And pretty soon, with enough practice, the triggers start to melt away. And you start automatically going to, well, wow, I have responses now that are sincere. Wow, thank you for sharing your heart. And it's sincere. Or, that's an interesting response. I hadn't thought of it that way. So you start to retrain yourself to go right to a more neutral place that invites you then to think again. Wow, there's a question, what's it like to be you, that I use a lot.
Oh, okay.
Even internally in my head. Even if I'm not going to voice that to someone when I have that sense of trigger or disagreement. But in my head, it's a, wow, what would it be like? And it's not a judgmental, what's it like to be you, poor thing.
Yeah.
It's not a pity. It's a sincere inquiry.
Yeah.
What is it like to be this person with all of their history, all of their experiences, their family, their childhood? You
Right.
can't really be judgmental in that space. So there are lots of practices, but it is practice and a willingness to do that practice that broke it for me.
Okay.
Anybody else have ideas of other? Quickly, and then you have something.
I thought of something I learned in landmark education. I know you won't raise your hand first, but I'll
But this
forget.
is directly another practice? Okay.
What it is not getting hooked by them emotionally and seeing it as noise over there and not letting it get into your
Yeah.
energy or your
Yeah.
space. And then just by your own example is going to calm them and help them be more peaceful. And then
Yeah.
therefore, once you have that inside of yourself, which I don't today, I'm working, I am open to the possibility of, so I just upgraded that conversation. To open to
There
the
you go.
possibility of being peaceful in myself when there's noise all around me,
Yeah.
and to be able to calm everyone in the room.
Nice, thank you. Another practice I just came up with that I use all the time because people bring their stuff to me all the time. I'm sitting with people and their stuff like daily. And so I've learned, I call it being the fog. And it doesn't mean I'm not present for you. It means I'm fully present right here, but my physical being and my reactions that go with that become like a fog. And so I can hear, listen, be empathetic, take it all in, but let it move through me. So that I don't end up carrying it and getting sick.
Yeah.
Like I've been doing.
Dave and then Chris
Yeah,
and
well,
then, no, okay, sorry.
Well, that speaks to, I think you're a good example of that, and I think Cheryl was a good example of that earlier in terms of dealing with her children, because you anticipate that,
Right.
because that's your position, right? You're gonna anticipate that, so if you can take that kind of anticipation into circumstances where you know that might happen, if you go to a peace rally and there's a bunch of
Right.
MAGA people there,
Yeah.
right? You can go there and say,
Prepare yourself.
yeah, just prepare yourself.
Yeah.
It's when it happens just like that,
Right,
that's the, that's the trigger point that's
Yeah.
tough to deal with. If you're not anticipating somebody coming after you,
right,
it's like, whoa, what do I do now? Punch back, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of a natural ego thing, I think, so it's hard to get over.
So again, coming back to a practice based on what you just said, that's a lot of what my morning practice is about, is bringing that forth for whatever may come in my day. Not looking for negative things to happen, just being prepared for whatever comes my way. And so setting that intention in mind and heart for the whole day.
Okay.
For me, one of the main things I've had to do is become more aware, and I've actually prayed for a greater awareness of, am I responding or am I reacting? Because when I'm reacting, it bypasses the mental process.
Right.
It's just a fight or flight reaction. So,
Yeah.
so I just take a beat and say, okay, is what I'm thinking about doing a reaction, or is it a response, an appropriate
Yeah.
response?
Could
Yeah.
reacting be in there with judgment?
Well, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in ourselves, yeah.
I would call it discernment. I have to discern within myself
Discernment.
what my motivation for what I'm about to do or not do is.
Well, I think if it's reactionary, it's judgment.
Oh, yeah.
If it's a response, it's discernment. Those are different things. Chris?
I think you said last week that helps, that pause, is that go through that think.
Mm-hmm.
Is it true? Is it helpful? Does it improve upon the silence? Is it necessary? Is it kind?
Right.
And if you kind of bring yourself even through that, just that mental process.
Right.
It is that pause, and it's always filled with a different
Yeah.
way of being in that moment.
Yeah. So my script did not take us off in the direction of practices. I'm happy that we went there, but it did make me have to go around, and I feel bad for missing your, whatever that was. So if it comes back, please. I didn't plan to go off that direction. Sometimes that happens when you're up here. I think it's valuable to have practices. So in the book, You Are Here, by David Stendhal Rast, in the keywords section under freedom, he has a glossary. And the word freedom, it says, when we think about freedom, we tend to focus on what hinders us from acting freely. So when we think about freedom, we tend to focus on what hinders us from acting freely. What are some of the things that hinder us from acting freely?
Fear.
Michael?
Prejudices.
Prejudices, which means what? Prejudgments. That's what that word means.
Okay.
Chris?
We are far too concerned worrying about what other people will think of us.
Okay. Far too concerned worrying what other people will think of us.
Perhaps it's fear of, if I get into this, how will I get out of it?
Mm-hmm.
So it's always some type of fear.
Some type of fear is usually involved.
Sure. The thing that comes to mind in my own personal case is fear of failure.
Fear of failure.
Right, so that, you're anticipating somebody else's judgment. Well, they can have their judgment.
Right.
That doesn't mean you don't need to internalize that.
Mm-hmm.
That gets back to how you've been acculturated in your family
Right.
and in society. It's like, am I not hitting the mark about
Mhm.
what people expect of what they think I am?
Right.
Right, so you're kind of letting go of yourself,
Mm-hmm.
your big ass self, when you kind of take that posture.
Yeah. So that's then making the assumption that there is such a thing as failure, which we were raised to believe that there is, rather than success and learning. We have the success and failure model in our minds. If we could shift to success and learning, it would be a much more positive. What can I learn from this?
Well, that's where that helps you to be more positive. Don't think
Mhm.
about the failure, the lessons to learn. And it takes time to think about that.
Right.
For many years, I've thought this and this, this, and I was not a good enough, a bad person and all. And all those years coming from there to here, it's just becoming positive through that and throwing things away, delete, kick it out. Kick it out as you go along.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dave's comment reminded me also, sometimes it's fear of success.
Fear of success,
One of my-
as
one of my
much as,
books,
yeah.
Kenny Logan's counselor was saying he didn't shine for a long time because he didn't want to outshine his brother Jimmy Messina, because they were, So he kind of held his light under a bushel a little bit, and finally realized that that wasn't doing either one of them any good.
Right, yeah. So this book goes on, Brother David goes on to say, it may be helpful to distinguish between freedom from and freedom for. What is the difference between freedom from something and freedom for something?
Freedom from chaos and, and freedom for peace.
Okay. Freedom from chaos, freedom for peace. Good. Marsh?
Just in general terms, freedom from generally means freedom from a negative, whatever that might be, and
Okay.
freedom for tends to be freedom for a positive, whatever
Okay.
that might be. The words from and for, one is you're running away and one is you're supporting.
Right, or moving toward, yeah. Chris?
Freedom from implies two things, that there is something holding us back and that something is real.
Okay.
And freedom for is just clears the way.
Okay. Clears the way for what?
Expansion.
Expansion. Growth.
Authenticity.
Authenticity. True contribution. Right relationship. For that next positive experience that is awaiting us as soon as we can open to it. Wow.
I'd say freedom from, for me, is learning to push the negative thoughts and bad experience out of my mind if I
Okay.
wake up in the middle of the night. So I've found different ways to clear my mind. I just go through a gratitude list or something. Or one thing that's been working for me, a recent Revelations class, I spell Revelation backwards till I fall back to sleep.
Uh-oh. Wow, that's a
It gets my
thing.
mind off and everything clears my
Yeah.
mind. It really works.
That's great. Yeah.
Just pick
It
up
takes
big
some
words.
concentration, I can imagine.
I was just saying, how do you do that?
It's not as,
You say it out loud?
it's not as easy, you do it in your mind. It's not as easy as it sounds, but pretty soon you could spell it backwards really fast.
Yeah? Yeah, for me, freedom from feels like a release, and freedom for feels like I'm available. You know, I'm free for whatever comes my way. I'm available. He asks this question as well. What do we want to use our freedom for? Whatever your answer may be, he says, you will name something that contributes to your full, unhampered development. And then he asks, do we know what we need for our development? Do we know what we need for our development?
Openness,
Okay, openness.
being open to whatever possibility might come your way.
Okay, so openness,
Sacred space.
sacred space,
Therapy.
therapy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Therapy can be a really positive experience, especially for a period of time.
Yeah.
And it, yeah.
And there are a
Any-
variety of therapies, not just cognitive.
Right,
therapies.
right.
There's sound therapies, dance therapies.
Yeah.
Lots of ways to
Yeah.
release that pent-up block.
Yeah, lots of forms of therapies. Chris and then Cheryl.
I'd have to say that it's my experience that I don't know what I would need, because I've often thought that this would be good for me, and once I got into it, I was sadly mistaken.
Okay, so we may have ideas about certain things that would be helpful, but we may also not know exactly what we need.
Along with what you said about openness, also to be able to believe in yourself.
Yes.
Believe in yourself and trust you.
Yeah.
That's a hard,
Yeah.
you have to learn how to believe in yourself and trust
Right.
in yourself to move
Yeah.
forward.
And we talked about that in Taizé, that ability to place trust, faith in yourself as well as other beings.
Yes.
And your world. I mean, it's really ideal to be able to trust the systems that support us socially. We may not entirely be in that spot right now, but it certainly is beneficial when we can.
It will happen.
It supports the freedom of society when we can trust. You know, stoplights are a really good example of placing our trust, right? We trust that everybody's gonna follow these traffic rules, and boy, most of the time, it works beautifully.
Yeah.
So when we can place our trust and then abide in being trustworthy ourselves, taking part in that system, that's when, freedom and flow occur. Michael, and then Dave, and then Chris.
I think we also need a feeling of safety.
Yes.
You know, that trust that you
Safety.
talk about, but yeah, safety, that's a big one.
Yeah.
This is a place right here where I think everyone here, especially speaking for myself, has a feeling of trust and safety.
Yes.
So we can open up and we can love each other and we can feel free
Yes.
while we're here.
Yeah.
And we know that, hey, this is a safe place.
Yeah, safety is so important, and that has been one of my, you know, if anything happens that I perceive as threatening the safety people feel here, I am on that so fast. Dave, and then Chris.
Yeah, it gets back to kind of one of the basic things that I perceive as being the truth is if you can't live yourself, you can't live anybody else out there.
Right.
That's where it's trusting yourself, feeling safe, and exposing yourself, because that's true.
Yeah.
It gets back to also, it's like what you put out there is what you attract back, right?
Right.
So if you can bring yourself to express your love in a way that's not violent in the word, but in a way that's helpful,
Uh-huh.
right? If you can do that, you never know, and that's going to come back to you in spades in ways when you really need it.
Yeah.
Right, so living from your true self and expressing that love wherever you are leads to being in a group of people like this
Right.
who are looking for that,
Yes.
right? So it's important, and everybody that's here is gonna take that out into the world with them.
Right.
And so that, you know, that's called planting seeds, right? So you plant those seeds, they're gonna grow, and that's when you talk about, right now, we're going through a period of reformation, that is precisely what that's about.
Right.
It's precisely what that's
Right.
about.
Reformation, reforming society as a whole. Yeah. Chris? Oh, no, I thought your hand was
No,
up.
it was.
Oh, yours was?
Oh, and this is the.
I thought it was him? Okay, it was you,
Was it
okay.
you?
It's hard for me to sometimes see everybody at once.
No, just kidding.
Can we all stand now?
I'm cutting ahead.
Yeah.
Actually, I was smiling when you brought up the traffic signal. To me, what's even more an idea of trust and safety is that yellow line.
Yes.
Do you imagine,
Oh,
we
yeah.
go sometimes without barriers, we're traveling
Right.
40, 50, 60 miles an hour. And
Yeah.
it's that line that says,
Right.
you know, and I mean, to me, that's just a real,
It's a miracle.
it's a miracle.
And there's nothing that, well, there are not many things that upset me more than somebody down there endangering my life by crossing that line. And, you know, really, it's like, how dare you? I get so frustrated by that.
I was gonna share something. I went to India when I was like early, like 21 or something,
Uh-huh.
and the driving there is so wild. Like
Uh-huh.
we would say, oh, the traffic lights are suggestions, but like you're on the freeway and there's like a cow in the middle of the freeway. There's like motorcycles with like 5 people on it. And
It's
they
a
sort of,
motorcycle.
but the thing that was
India.
weird.
India. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the thing that was weird is there's not a lot of rules or what seems like order, but somehow everyone's moving
Uh-huh.
in this like symbiotic kind of thing
Yeah.
that's like this like driving feels like a dance, like, oh, now we're going this way, and you know, if you're on a highway, there is like lanes and people going one way, but once you get into the city, like a city center, then all of that goes out, and everyone's just sort of moving and grooving, and it's really weird. But like it feels weird to get used to it. But I guess what you're talking about, trust, is even though they have a different way of driving. Than we do, and most people would have like a panic attack their first day.
It wouldn't work.
Yeah, you me neither. No thanks. But somehow they're still respectful of each other and still sort of it's working.
Yeah.
So I don't know if this is making sense, but I just felt like when you're talking about trust, they still are like, we're doing this in a way that like is gonna work for us.
They all somehow feel and sense and understand what's happening and are caught by the flow and it works.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting. So I'm with Chris in saying that sometimes we do know what will be helpful to us, but oftentimes I have not been sure what is going to be the most beneficial for me in my own life. Sometimes I think it's one set of circumstances, and it turns out to be when I get what I am moving toward, I find upon arrival that that's not at all what I thought it was going to be. And so I think we're not always aware at that level, or even on the biological level. We have to rely on the intelligence of life itself to maintain our bodies through countless processes of which we are mostly unaware most of the time. So that means we have to trust in life for our physical well-being. We have to trust our heart to keep beating and our blood to keep flowing and the breath to keep flowing. So what about our mental and emotional well-being? As human beings, do we know with certainty what we need mentally and emotionally to develop further? Marsh?
I think it's almost the same answer. I was going to say what Chris said, and because I'm going through it in such a huge way. If someone had asked me 6 months ago, what do you need? My answer would have been way different than what I got. And yet, what I got was, for sake of a better thing, the answer, you know, to what I needed. And I never would have asked for it, never would have looked for it, and that might be part of it. That, you know, when you ask what do you need to take the next step, well, the last thing we want to do is set ourselves up for some kind of major bang. But as you point out, if you ask for help, look out. And because it doesn't come the way you think it will, but it does. Yeah. In my experience, it comes the right way.
Grace comes in many forms with many faces. I would never have thought it an act of grace and what I needed to be suddenly exited from my prior community after 26 years. Never in a million years would have asked for that or thought that was what was needed, but it was absolutely the right thing. Anyone involved were simply conduits for the right thing to happen. I have no question about that at this time. So I think we don't always know what is going to be our biggest growth, what's going to cause our largest growth. I think I have gotten into the habit of asking for what is needed, grace with grace and ease. You know, whatever it looks like, I can handle it. You know, may it be graceful, may it feel easy as much as possible. Yes.
I think that grace and ease is the notion of becoming open and adaptable.
Right. Yeah, open and adaptable is important. Chris?
And I think grace and ease increases the more our resistance to what's next decreases.
Yes. So we can set down our resistance and the openness automatically fills that space.
I think the perfect example of that is traffic in India.
Oh, there we go. Traffic in India.
That is the perfect example of that because people, life is a process. There's not an answer. Life is a process, and that's those people who figure out the process of how do I get around with 8 million people in 2 square miles, right? I mean, literally, that's what they're dealing with. It's incredibly overcrowded in some areas, well, even in the United States.
Yeah.
You know, we choose the tack of, you know, putting up more traffic signs. Well, you got so many traffic signs, you can't remember all the rules where you're supposed to go. But can I turn here? Can I not turn here? How do I get from here to there? You know, I mean, all that stuff, you know, comes into play. But that's the process.
Yeah.
That's the process.
Yeah. So why do we not necessarily know what is best for us mentally and emotionally? What do you think gets in the way of that?
I was gonna say, just from my own like personal story that I'm going through right now, is I think that sometimes there's things in life that we need to go through to help us grow and mature.
Okay.
And when we're going through it, it's really hard and it really sucks and it's really painful. I mean, at first, our first reaction is like sometimes fight or flight, like just God, make this stop, like you know, kind of like I just want to get through this as quickly as possible. But sometimes if the situation is prolonged, it's sort of like we don't realize it, but we're needing it to mature and evolve into something new.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's kind of like my experience of like what I'm going through physically. Like when I lived in LA, I was, you know, going to the beach, swimming all the time, like hiking, and I had like the injury that got me to move up here with my folks. I'm in my late 30s. Like never would have thought I would move back with my parents, you know.
Right.
And I was kicking and screaming when I first came up here, and like having a lot of like cussing prayers at God, like you know, cussing him out, like this is like, you know, I'm not gonna say it, but anyways, and then going to my parents' church, and like, you know, they believe in healing there, and so I was like, oh, like just pray for me, you know, like every weekend. I was trying to escape the circumstances,
Right.
because in my mind I wasn't supposed to go through something like that.
Yeah.
And it took me like a few years to go, oh, I'm supposed to go through this.
Right.
And now I have to go through all the maturing and mental healing and all the stuff I needed to go through from my childhood. Like now I'm like being forced to deal with everything and like grow. And so now when I talk to like old friends, and you know, they know when I'm going through the process, and they're like, oh, I'm so sorry, and I'm like, actually I like feel more happy than I did a while ago. Had you talked to me like maybe 2 years ago, I would have been like really wanting your pity. But now I'm like wanting to, like, understanding that I'm like growing through all this, and that it's an amazing part of my story. So it's weird how when you're saying you don't know what you need, sometimes the hard thing is what you need, or the uncomfortable conversation or circumstance, or I don't know if that's online with what you're talking about, but that's how I'm kind of relating to it.
Right. Yeah, I think that's often true for us.
Yeah.
Did your hand go up, Chris? Okay.
I call it going through the burn. And I know somebody who became paralyzed from the neck down, and they're pretty motley though, the boys. But what Mike created was sailboats, so that people who are disabled, they will pick you up and put you in the boat, and you have a special life vest, and you can go sailing. You can do regattas.
The Reading Yacht Club?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, I love that guy. That's crazy.
They drink a lot though, so be careful.
And
You're done after the sail.
He's a Paralympic sailor.
Yeah,
he won 2 medals in Australia.
Yeah, we call him Straleywood, because he used to be in Hollywood, and he was doing backflips, triple flips on snow skis, and he landed on his head, and he had just bought a Hobie Cat, and he literally designed it with one finger on his computer, and he's pretty incredible.
Wow.
So, yeah.
So we don't always know what we need for many, many reasons. Sometimes we can only, not sometimes, I think always, we can only see ourselves through the lenses of our own mental and emotional states, which skews our perception of what would be best for us. You know, we're all coming through our own perceptions. And those are never clear.
Yeah, it kind of gets down to what do you want versus what do you need.
Right.
Because life always gives you what you need.
Right, yeah.
That's seldom, it seems,
Yeah.
personally, to align with what you want.
Yeah.
You know, so be careful what you ask for,
Yeah, because you might get it.
because you might get the opposite.
You might get the
Because-
opposite, or you might get it and find out that it isn't what you thought it was.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So Brother David suggests that what truly makes us free is a thorough listening to the guidance of life, moment by moment. This means that freedom from is primarily referring to everything that hinders our ability to hear life's guidance. I'd like to suggest that no matter what we think is blocking us, it is grounded in fear rather than in truth. So are there any final thoughts, contributions, things that want to be said before we wrap up today?
I've just been reminded of,
Oh,
you often pray and recognize as grace,
mm-hmm,
not just what we would consider the blessings in our life, but to consider as blessings those places in our lives that challenge us and grow our faith and resilience.
mm-hmm,
And it's most of the time in the moment, it's hard to see those things as blessings.
yes,
But on the other side of that, we do emerge a better person.
right. Yeah, thank you. So I have wrapping up here, I was going to just skip to the end, but I think I will do one more thing. An interesting idea to consider. Living more simply, just that phrase, can bring freedom to our lives. And this looks different for each one of us. What living more simply means looks different for every one of us. So there's a book called Voluntary Simplicity that's been around forever, but it's a wonderful book by Dwayne Elgin. And in that book he says to unburden ourselves, to establish a more direct, unpretentious, unencumbered relationship with all aspects of our life. The things that we consume, the work that we do, our relationships with others, our connections with nature and the cosmos. Simplicity of living means meeting life face to face. It means confronting life clearly without unnecessary distractions. It means being direct and honest in relationships of all kinds. It means taking life as it is. So that's how he defines voluntary simplicity, and he says that a simple life brings freedom. So that's how I'm connecting it to freedom. So in his words, it doesn't necessarily mean living with less, although it might. It means living with a more demanding intention of living with balance in order to find a greater purpose and fulfillment. So it's more about intentionality than it is about more or less of anything. So to wrap up then, finally, thoughts about living a life of voluntary simplicity. Any thoughts that come up around that and how it relates to freedom? Michael?
On a purely physical level, possessions possess.
Okay.
Well, I think we all know that.
They do.
And we've all been in situations where we just have so much damn stuff in our lives that we're not happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, God bless Amazon.
Right.
I've never ordered from them.
Yeah. Anybody move their dwelling anytime recently?
Yep.
Anybody considering moving their dwelling? But
Never
scared
again.
off by never again. Okay, so as we prepare to close our time, I want to invite you into a really short micro practice here. Let's begin by taking one long deep breath in and holding it for a couple seconds. And then letting it go. So call to mind for a moment a time where you felt completely free. Or an activity that brings you a sense of freedom. And when you have that something, breathe in whatever image comes to mind and draw it into your heart, letting that sense of freedom expand the sensation of your heart. And then releasing it back out into the world on the out-breath. Breathing in the freedom. And sharing the freedom and offering it and allowing it to others. On the in-breath, may all beings know love. And on the out-breath, may all beings be free. May all beings know peace. May all beings be free. As we breathe together, we're creating an atmosphere of unconditional love and freedom. There is only one that I call God, that I call Spirit, infinite intelligence, expressing and experiencing itself as all of life, as all of creation. It is the one that I know as Source, as wisdom, as love, and compassion, as freedom. It is this one that infuses every aspect of my being, and at the same time surrounds me so that I come to know myself as sacred human, an expression of God forever swimming in a sea of God. There is nothing else. This is true for every human, for every being. Each of us brings a unique set of qualities and gifts, and each is being called to dance more gracefully with all the other God beings. Some of these we call humans. Some we call two-leggeds and four-leggeds. Some we call plants and rocks and soil and fire and water. No matter the form, we're being called to acknowledge and live from our inherent sense of belonging. Belonging with all of life. So as we begin to let go of our perceived separation and to embrace our actual, literal oneness, freedom emerges. Each of us free to express and share our gifts. Each of us free to pursue life, liberty, and a true sense of happiness. We remember that freedom is liberty, which is inherent, God-given, not license, which is granted by human authority and often grows from the ego's need to have its way. So here and now I breathe that in. I accept and know my inherent freedom. And I honor the freedom of others. I accept the responsibility that my freedom implies. I walk each step grounded in a sense of belonging. That we all belong, and that we're learning day by day how to respect, honor, and celebrate one another more fully. I understand that the power of my thoughts, words, and actions is mighty, and that I am forever channeling the power of creation, consciously or not. Here and now, I commit to play my part consciously, to do my spiritual work, to open my heart where it has become closed, to see through the veil of separation that threatens to blind me to the truth. Thank you, Spirit, for reminding me who and whose I am. Thank you for opening my heart and mind, making me more and more willing to embody and live from that truth. Thank you for evolving my faith. I know that it allows me to welcome and embrace the changes that are forever within and around me. Thank you for this beloved community, for our beautiful space, for the grace that permeates my experience. In this prayerful moment, I bask in the life that fills me to overflowing, so that I might bless all who cross my path in this coming week. I'm grateful for the feast that we share each week. May I never forget how blessed we are. I acknowledge and give thanks for the countless hands that it took to bring food to our table. And so, knowing the immense power of my word and knowing that it creates my experience here and now, I release this prayer to the wisdom and intelligence that I call God, knowing beyond all doubt that it is already active and moving my words into form in more beautiful ways than I can even imagine, in ways that serve the whole of creation. And so I rest, calling it done. And together we affirm by saying, and so it is. Amen. You know, in my personal morning prayer life, my prayers are often silent, but it is so powerful to speak prayers. And I think I may change my morning practice, because we were talking yesterday at a workshop that April gave about the power of the vibration and the energy of our own voices within our own heads and our own hearts, and how our own voices are our most powerful tool for transformation within us. So just went back to yesterday going, you know, there's a reason this feels so empowering to me, is because I'm speaking my voice in my prayer. I encourage you to consider in your own prayer life speaking your prayer out loud, whatever your prayer is. And if one of them that is offered here catches you, we always have transcripts online, just so you know that too. If you're ever caught by a prayer that you'd like to have the words to, they show up by Sunday night online. So as we close our Taizé, we offer the opportunity for you to share of your financial good in support of the work that we're doing here. We're a self-sustaining organization, and so we benefit by your support. And if you found value in your time here or online with us this morning, share the love. We invite and welcome and appreciate. So as we offer time today for that giving to happen, found a video by another favorite, Carl Anthony. And this is part of a long concert he gave, but my talented husband is able to edit things like that. And so we got just one song here called Clear the Way.
The formal name of Ganesh is Ganapate. And if you want to incite Ganapate, Ganesh, and in order to clear your path, whatever is going on, you would recite it's Om Gam Ganapate Namaha. Om Gam Ganapate Namaha. So, I used to lead trips in India every year, several times a year, and now my wife Noah and I we lead trips in Thailand. But back when I was leading trips in India, I was on the infamous tour bus. And I wrote this song called Clear the Way in honor of Ganapati. And the chant is Om Gam Ganapati Namaha, Om Gam Ganapati Namaha, Om Gam Ganapati Namaha, Om. Yeah, that's it. You got to do that with some style, some funk. Yeah, so that's right. This is called Clear the Way. So you can think about something in your life that you'd like to see a clearer path, perhaps, an easier path. This song could do it. Love will wait for us. Hop on the Let It Go bus and cruise down the road. Clear your head from your mind, find an inner shrine, and bathe in the light. Namaha, Om Gam Ganapati, 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 Namaha, Om. Now follow me. Clear the way, clear the way. Oh, yeah. Show me the way. On my way, Om Ganapati, Om Ganapati, yeah. Be kind with the flesh, guide me, Lord Ganesh. My body needs my heart. Allow these eyes to see, let my soul simply be. Clear the way, Ganapati, Om Gam Ganapati Namaha, 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 Om. I walk a path to be free, open the door for me. Clear the way, Ganapati, clear the way. I walk a path to be free, open the door for me. Clear the way, Ganapati, clear the way. I walk a path to be free, open the door for me. Clear the way, Ganapati, clear the way. I walk a path to be free, open the door for me. Clear the way, Ganapati, clear the way. Show me the way on my way. Om Ganapati. Remove all my mess, free me, Lord Ganesh. Tame my monkey mind. Take from my heart this pain, release me from these chains. Om Ganapati Namaha, Om Gam 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 Ganapati Namaha, Om.
I did not know that Ganesh had a formal name until I learned that song. Ganapati.
I'm going to need to see it in writing.
Yeah.
Ganapati.
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 And that's Baba Ganesh?
Uh-huh.
Oh my goodness. Anyway, I'm grateful for that song.
Yeah.
I gratefully and humbly stand here before you to accept your love in the form of treasure. And I also want to acknowledge and appreciate time and talent. So many of you, so many of us work diligently to make this center a positive, safe, loving environment. And so your treasure helps us do that. And you can trust that it's being stewarded in ways that will serve our community and beyond, making this world a better place, grounded in more love. And together we say, and so it is. Amen. Okay.
All right, let's close it up. Go have some lunch. All together, hand in hand, we see the light, we take a stand, and we are changing. A whole new life for you and me. Take your past and set it free, and share this blessing. Love be with you, peace enfold you, spirit lift you, breathe it in. Truth come through you, make it come to you, let joy renew you until we meet again. Love be with you, ooh, 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 love be with you until we meet again. Love be with you, love be with you. Now breathe it in. Love be with you, ooh, love be with you until we meet again. Love be with you, ooh, love be with you. Now breathe it in. Love be with you. We love you. Thank you for being here. Let's go enjoy some food together.